friends, welcome to today's video. Today I would just like to show you my pantry. I am on the journey of becoming more of a minimalist, but I would describe myself as a realistic minimalist. I'm not an extreme minimalist. I used to have so much food in my house and I realized that just the less I have, the happier I am, the healthier I cook, and the calmer I am, just because I always know what I have. I hate throwing away food. I made a video a while back, I'm gonna try to put the link, about how to not waste food, but I just wanted to show you what's in my pantry today so you get an idea of what we do with food and how we do things here. We don't actually have a pantry here in Germany. We don't have built-in closets in the houses. So basically I'm just using some shelves and cabinets. If we don't know each other yet, welcome to my channel. It's great that you're here. My name is Freya, also known as Healthy Minimalist Mom, and I just love sharing my passion for, reducing just the simple life. Okay, let's get started. First of all, let me show you overall. There's a shelf right here. There is a shelf over here. Not an extremely clean kitchen right now. There is a shelf here. There's a little bit more here. And I'm going to explain to you why I put things where they are. Then there is one drawer here. And then there is more stuff in here. And I have a few things that I store up here. So let me start right here. This is where I have a lot of stuff that I use most of the time. So here are my dry goods. I have some white beans. I make them in the crock pot. I don't really ever buy canned beans. Number one, the aluminum is not that great when you have food in aluminum. And also, I think it's a lot cheaper this way, and you can make however much you want. I just throw beans or whatever it is, like chickpeas, anything that needs to be cooked for a long time. I just throw these in a crock pot, leave it on overnight, and the next day it's perfect. These are two types of cereals my daughter loves. I wish she could just get away from it, but she just loves those sweet cereals. Then I have millet. I love making grains that are a little bit alternative. Not always just rice, or these are whole grain noodles. We've been using whole grain only for a couple of years, and my 8-year-old daughter, Romy, she is totally used to these and she loves them. Chickpeas, red lentils, and these are my Cacao Nibs, which I use almost daily in my breakfast when I make my yogurt. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen my yogurt, just plain yogurt topped with fruit, nuts, seeds, and always the crispy, crunchy Cacao Nibs. I love these. So going on here, these are some rose leaves. I put them in my tea. I have different teas that I keep in different places. These I don't use often, that's why they're down here. Just coconut flakes, lentils, amaranth, chia seeds, popcorn. We love making popcorn around here. I just put it in a big pot and it makes the best mushroom popcorn ever. Holy basil, this is just herbal tea that I use, and this is ashwagandha powder. I put that sometimes in, I make like a milk with maca, ashwagandha. It's an adaptogen, meaning it can balance your hormones. This is a little bit of couscous that's left over, and sesame seeds, flax seeds, ground flax seeds. I put them also in my yogurt every day. This is buckwheat, some hazelnuts, some bulgur, and some mung beans. Let me continue on down around the corner. This is where I have, this is coconut oil. I have a backup because this one is half empty and we use it a lot. I have some vinegars, couple of different kinds because this one was almost empty, and some olive oil. We only use olive oil. I read a book and basically they said most vegetable oil is not really that great for your body, so olive oil is good. So continuing on over here, this is something I use every single day also. These are my different teas. I have different herbs. And a lot of them I dry myself that I have in the yard. This is lemon balm. I have that in my yard. Raspberry leaves, nettle tea. I love nettle, and we have nettles growing in our yard. They love our yard. We hate the nettles, but I do love to harvest them for the tea. And you can really make great things with nettles. I don't know what that is in English. Schafgabe. I have no idea. This is some brown sugar. I don't really have sugar a lot. And this is some moringa tea. Let me continue on over here. As you can see right now, I have actually, I put celery in some water just because it stays fresh for a long time. If I just put it in the fridge, after one day it would be just all soggy and limp. So putting it in water, you can keep it forever, really. It actually starts growing again. So this is just, you know, sometimes I have different herbs, like here, herbs. So this is from the yard. I just got this out of the garden and I'll use it for lunch. Continuing on over here, these are things I use frequently. This is some oats, white flour, which I actually don't use that much. I also have other flours, whole grain. I usually mix this with whole grain if it's anything for the kids. Just white sugar. Andreas is really almost the only one who uses the white sugar for his coffee. And some brown rice, some Himalayan salt. I love the Himalayan pink salt. This is some herbal salt that I get from Austria, from the mountains, from the Alps. It's so delicious. And this is just baking soda. Continuing on over here, this is my drawer. And these are different nut butters, including tahini, which is, you know, made out of sesame seeds. It's so great for different salad dressings. I love tahini. Just kind of almond butter, and I always use the you know, like with they leave on the shells, and so it's brown. I like that actually because there's a lot of nutrients in the you know, in the outer layers. And yeah, I don't know if I actually keep this. I don't really have that many smoothies anymore. This is for green smoothies. It is barley grass powder. And then there's a couple of soy sauce. This is just a new one, and this is an almost used up one. And this is barley malt. I use it sometimes for baking. And this is just, let me see what that is in English. I have no idea. Oh, it's guar. Is it guar seed? I don't know. But it helps to thicken. Sometimes I need to thicken some salad dressings. And this is something I use. I don't know what it's called in English right now, but I use this for my homemade deodorant. It really helps it like to thicken up. Then I have some maca powder. I just have some starch sometimes when you want to thicken sauces. And this is empty. This is where usually my pecans are, and I love pecans. They're my favorite nut. There are my cashews, a couple types of olives. This is wild rice. I love to mix it in with my brown rice. And this is just some almonds. I can put them on my yogurt also. Continuing on. I don't know if I'll ever use this. When you buy a package of lasagna, pasta, noodles, it's just always too much. And so we have a lot of leftovers. I should make a lasagna sometime, but I use only whole grain, but sometimes we could make this. This is some orzo, of course, also made of white flour. There is some rice to make rice pudding, where we love rice pudding. This is just some breadcrumbs. I haven't used them in a while. I could get rid of them also. This is some whey powder that is all natural. There's nothing else. It's just whey powder. And this is some thyme that I have a lot of because I bought it in a big package. And then over here, this is just the baking stuff that we have. Like, you know, like decorations for kids when we make pancakes or waffles. Romy loves to put those on. And then There's some sugar and cinnamon mix that I made, some applesauce. This is some more brown sugar, more dark packed brown sugar, and this is confectionery sugar. We really only use this when, you know, around Christmas, when kids want to bake cookies and decorate. Then we have the baking drawer, and this is my rye flour, my spelt flour, this is chickpea flour. This is a great alternative if you want to go gluten-free. None of us in the family have gluten intolerance, but we try to do some alternatives so we don't always have the same stuff. More rye flour. This is actually buckwheat flour, also a great alternative. A little bit more buckwheat flour. Some more just regular white sugar, and this is just some, what is it actually? This is spelt. I actually wanted to make a bread. You can make a bread out of just the whole grain by just making it into kind of a paste and letting it, you know, wait till it just comes alive. I haven't made it yet because you need a very special mixer for it, and I'm not sure. I didn't know that you needed that special mixer, but I'm gonna try to make it even just with what I have. And then down here, these are my just extras that I put in. This is my Cacao Nibs, always organic. I try to buy organic. Cocoa powder. This is, oh, it's the coriander or dried cilantro herbs. This is Caro. This is really awesome. This is a coffee alternative. It's just made of grains, like roasted grains. And I like it so much. It has no caffeine, and so it's pretty good. Then there's some ketchup and different herbs and different, you know, things that, like my herbal salt, that once I run out. This is just a thermos. And that's pretty much all, except for up here I have some, you know, I have some more rice, but, you know, I buy bigger packs, and so whenever the glass is empty, I'll put, you know, I'll look and see if I have more up here. And that's pretty much all. Other than that, I have some other stuff that is not food up there. I try to only use basics, nothing processed, and I make everything from scratch. We don't have that much in the freezer right now, and I try not to fill it up too much. Mainly I do a lot of leftovers, so when I cook, for example, when I make a big pot of broth, like beef broth or chicken broth, I always put some in the freezer so we can thaw it up and then make a soup very easily and quickly. Or sometimes I cook, you know, a lot of stuff, like if I make a stew or anything that can be frozen easily, and I freeze it so we have a quick meal for 1 or 2 weeks down the road. I also try to buy locally and in season. First of all, of course, it is cheaper. Second of all, it's better for the environment because you're not hauling stuff from the other side of the planet. I mean, it's really stupid to buy apples from New Zealand if here in Germany we have apples like all the time. You can store apples, and even in the winter and even in the spring and even in the summer, we have fresh apples here that you can buy that come from the region. And so I try to buy whatever I can from the region. It doesn't mean I don't ever eat bananas. I totally have bananas, and we have avocados sometimes, but I try to be very mindful, and the bulk of what I buy, I try to not get it from these big chains where I have no idea where it comes from. We have a little shop here. Yes, I do see that it can be a little bit more expensive, but if you go to farmers markets, or actually here, I don't know where you live, how it is, but here in Germany there are a lot of farmers nowadays that do direct sales, so you can go to their farm and you can buy a bunch of stuff. So you can get a big sack of potatoes, and it's really inexpensive. You can get milk. They have something called the milk gas station, and they just have a machine. When they milk their cows, they put the milk in there. It's cooled. You know, and then you just put your glass bottle that you bring, you put it in there, and you put €1 in, and it gives you 1 liter of milk. And I think 1 liter of organic raw milk for €1, that's like $1.30 or something. That is really good. And then in the summer, there's actually there are some Facebook groups. I don't know where you live, you would have to check, We have some Facebook groups that are all about just connecting people who live in my town here. It's a very small town. But then you could ask people, for example, right now, you know, you could ask people, people are happy to give away whatever's in their gardens because it's way too much. It's like there's a lot of zucchini and squash growing right now, and people can't even eat it. Like me, I have one squash plant up there and it's crazy. I can't even eat it all. I mean, you can freeze it pretty nicely and I can keep it for a couple months, but still, there's a lot of tomatoes. You can't really keep those, and so people are happy to give stuff away, and that costs you absolutely nothing. And even in the winter, I live in Germany, so in the winter it's really cold, but there are vegetables that do grow in the winter. So instead of eating iceberg lettuce, I eat a lot more of that, you know, that marche or however you call it. That is in season because it grows in the winter. And I make my own sauerkraut. I'm so in love with sauerkraut. My homemade, I don't like the store-bought. It's so different in consistency. Just my own sauerkraut, and cabbage is so incredibly cheap in the winter, like in the fall when it's in season, and then in the winter you can keep the cabbage. It has all the vitamin C and it has all the good bacteria. You can do so much that is inexpensive and healthy. And I just think, I very strongly believe, I've been studying this for a long time. I've read lots of books. But there is proof that your gut biome and all the bacteria that you have inside of you have a lot to do with where your ancestors lived and what foods they ate. So if you are of Asian descent, the likelihood of you having a lactose intolerance for cow's milk is very high, because in Asia, historically, like in Japan, for example, people didn't really have cow's milk. But here in Germany, people have relied on cow's milk for a long time. Goats and cow's milk, because it's cold in the winter. We don't eat fish here in the middle of Germany because there's no ocean. There's some rivers, but really more meats and milk and cheeses. That's where the healthy fat came from. And so I try to eat according to what my ancestors ate. And you know, my family came from Central Europe, and they ate whatever grew around here, and I can feel that it really helps my body. So those are just some things that we do. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what your favorites are. What are your staples that you must have in your pantry at all times? For me, my staples really are like my yogurt, my plain Greek yogurt. Milk is also very important to me, and fresh fruits and seasonal vegetables. And then of course, all my legumes. I love legumes. I eat them all the time, like lentils and chickpeas. They're so versatile. Let me know in the comments what your staples are. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're gonna be back next time. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing for more videos on minimalism, cleaning and organizing, decluttering, and just having a wonderful, healthy, simple life. See you next time. Bye.